Let me share with you something most men never fully grasp. Women aren't truly attracted to the man who bends over backwards for them. In fact, the more you try to prove yourself to her, the faster her interest fades. What truly captures her attention and keeps it is a man who looks like he could live perfectly fine without her. A man who is steady in his own skin, who doesn't chase approval, who isn't desperate to hold on. And no, that doesn't mean being cold, arrogant, or disrespectful. It means carrying yourself with a quiet, grounded energy. An energy that says, I enjoy you, but I don't depend on you. And that kind of energy, it's magnetic. Because deep down, women respect the man who values himself above anyone else's opinion. So in this video, I'll explain why that's true and how you can embody it, without pretending, without games, just by being aligned with who you really are. First, women feel your frame. Every interaction happens within a frame. Either she steps into yours, or you step into hers. When you try too hard to impress, when your actions revolve around what you think she'll like, you've entered her frame, and she senses it instantly. If your mood rises and falls with her attention, you've handed her the power. That's not attractive. What is attractive is a man who stands firm in his own frame, who knows who he is, what he values, and doesn't shift depending on her reaction. Ironically, that's what draws her in, because she doesn't want to be your entire world. She wants to be invited into a world that already exists. Second, comfort comes from detachment. Detachment isn't indifference, it's strength. A man who isn't shaken by whether she stays or goes creates a sense of stability. She feels safe because he's not fragile, not dependent on her validation. If one disagreement or delayed text would make you spiral, she'll pull away. It feels unstable. But if you radiate the energy that you'll be fine regardless, she relaxes. She opens up. Attraction grows in that space of safety and strength. Third, mystery fuels curiosity. Attraction thrives on the unknown. Most men kill it by oversharing and over-explaining, leaving her no reason to wonder. Mystery, on the other hand, makes her curious. What drives him? What's on his mind? What's he doing when he's not with me? You don't need to play games. Mystery is just about pacing, revealing yourself slowly, like chapters of a book worth reading. The man who reveals himself gradually always gives her a reason to come back. Fourth, respect comes before affection. You can make her laugh, charm her, impress her, but without respect, it all fades. Respect is the foundation where attraction grows, and respect comes from boundaries. A man who values himself doesn't ignore red flags, doesn't tolerate disrespect, and doesn't sacrifice his values just to keep her interested. That's when she pauses and thinks, this man is different. He respects himself. And once a woman respects you, attraction deepens naturally. Fifth, presence beats performance. Most men exhaust themselves trying to perform, cracking jokes, entertaining nonstop, proving they're interesting. But performance always expires. Presence doesn't. Presence is being comfortable in silence, listening fully, being grounded in the moment. A man who is present doesn't need to prove himself. And ironically, that calm energy is far more attractive than constant performance. Sixth, independence keeps you magnetic. Women admire men with ambition, with goals, with their own lives. Independence is magnetic because it makes your time valuable. When you give her your time, it feels like a gift, not an obligation. A man with his own mission, his own world. That's the man she feels lucky to be chosen by. Seventh, balance is the secret. Here's the truth. Not caring too much doesn't mean being careless. It's about balance. Show interest without suffocating. Be kind without being desperate. Be available, but not constantly on call. When she realizes you're not afraid to walk away, she also realizes she has to bring value too. And that balance is rare. And what's rare is always attractive. So, do women prefer men who don't care? Not exactly. They prefer men who care about themselves first. Men who value their time, their mission, their peace, and never give it all away cheaply. The man who commands respect. The man who sparks curiosity. The man who carries himself with calm presence. That's the man she remembers. Not because he chased her, but because he was so deeply rooted in his own truth that she couldn't help but be drawn in. Don't aim to win her by caring too much. Win her respect by standing firm in who you are. That's the difference between being forgotten and being unforgettable.